have mom and dad pass away and they have real estate in multiple states. Tell us about why that might be a sad day.
Well, because you're going to have to. So I'm of the opinion that if you have real property, the best way and the easiest way for everyone is if you set up a trust. Because if you don't and you have a will and it has to go through probate, then you might be stuck in a situation like my mother, where it takes 4 years for the court to get to the case to help you be able to dispose of the property. You're paying taxes on it. You're having to do all of those things and you can't take care of it. And most of the time, if the person, you open the probate matter in the county within the state where the person passed away, if the property's in another state, then you have to open up a probate matter there because the real property is there and you have to do it in every single state that the property's in. However, if it's in a trust and you have a trustee and you have those documents and it's properly recorded and funded into the trust, then the trustee automatically at the time of death has authority to go do what they need to do with the property without having to go to court. So you can skip having to open up the probate matters, pay lawyers, do all of those things in multiple locations.
Okay. And then one other thing is, once you move that into the trust, you're pretty much 100% sure at that point in time who has the deed on the house and how it's titled, which I know it might not sound like much, but we've heard some horror stories. And I actually saw one recently in my life on that where, oh my gosh, we had no idea that deed was this way. And it could have been really nasty if things had gone a little bit different. So I'll just share that if you don't mind. My 89-year-old grandmother, we recently sold her house. And so my dad was going to go to closing and he's a financial advisor too. So it's not like we shouldn't have our house in order. My dad was going to go to closing and they realized that when my grandfather passed away in 1977, remember chauvinistic world in 1977, his name was the only one on the deed for the house. Because, back then you didn't put the woman's name on there too, for some people. So technically my grandmother's been living in that house from 1977 till now with her name never on the deed. Luckily, because she's still alive in an assisted living home up in the Johns Creek area, we were able to move that deed to her and then she was able to sell the house. But if she had died, 89-year-old grandmother with Alzheimer's, and we had not sold this before and not moved it, I have no idea how many years my parents would have been stuck with that house and the estate open. So that's just an example of, you might have some alligators out there that you don't expect. And this stuff is really, complex to know what might be under the hood. Not necessarily, and I guess the area might not be, obviously this issue I'm talking about, it's not really complex. It's just maybe it's not predictable.